Alright guys, let's talk more about Marvel's Spider-Man launching very soon. There's lots of things to unlock early, many awesome skill synergies that will turn your regular neighborhood Spidey into a real superhero. Which is why in today's video we're gonna take a good look into some of my favorite skills, suit powers, gadgets, and mods. So let's begin. Now, the game already gets you started with a really powerful suit and ability right away, but they get ruined during the first mission. So you have to finish that mission, repair the suit, and you will get the classic suit repaired, as well as its Web Blossom ability. This was one of the most OP skills back in the days, literally capable of one-shotting entire groups of enemies right away. Essentially, Spidey jumps up in the air, starts spinning, and webs everything around him in a pretty crazy way. So if there's a big group of enemies and if it's packed around you, you're gonna be able to one-shot it right away, making it an amazing option very early in Marvel Spider-Man. Another one would be at around level 9 if you unlock the Stark suit. This also gives you the Spider Bro, an amazing option for anybody who wants to play with companions. This bad boy right here is capable of shooting electrified bullets that will shock and even arc from one enemy to another, making it a great option to quickly stun and damage large groups of enemies. But it's also amazing at single target bosses if you struggle with them. Again, a very awesome source of damage in case you're having any trouble with that. Of course, we're gonna talk about one of my favorites early on at level 13. This is going to be the electrically insulated suit that gives you the electric punch. Basically, this will electrify all of your melee attacks, so now that you have this, you're gonna be able to shock enemies that you touch. It's great because the current also arches between these enemies, trivializing most of the fight, so you don't really have to worry about being encircled or being damaged by enemies that get the chance to get close to you. There's plenty other suits out there with very interesting power. I highly encourage you to unlock as many of these as possible, maybe even all. And if you want to see how you can do that easier, you can totally check out the video that I covered previously. But I'm gonna cover two more that are a bit more high risk but also high reward, including the quad damage and the equalizer. So these will come a bit later in the game. The quad damage, you get it from the Fear Itself suit at around level 21, but this gives you a massive 4x damage boost to all of your melee hits, which usually translates in one and no more than 2 shots against most of the targets. But if you truly want to turn the game into one punch mode, you will go with the equalizer, where enemies will literally go down in one single hit, no matter who they are, no matter the difficulty. But the kicker is that you will also go down in one single hit, so you truly have to be good at dodging and preventing any damage. This one unfortunately will come very late after you finish the game, from the Andy suit that will require you to complete all of the main missions, side missions, and open world activities, but it's gonna be great in New Game Plus. With that out of the way though, let's talk about the gadgets. Of course, web shooters and web impact get unlocked super early, but the rest require the activity tokens that I've talked about in the previous video. I'm only going to focus on a few ones that I'm super excited for, including the Spider Drone. This is going to be separate from the Spider Bro skill. So when you fully upgrade this, you can summon up to 4 Spider Drones, which you can then combine with the Spider Bro ability to literally create a robot army to fight for you, and you don't even have to do anything. It's kind of scary that Spidey even has access to his own army of robots, but it's totally viable, and it's one of the best builds that you can achieve relatively early. Especially so since you can make it infinitely replenish, but I'm gonna talk about that in just a little bit. Another one would be the electric webs. These will immediately stun enemies, and again, just like the other skills, will arc from one enemy to another as long as they are nearby to one another, effectively becoming an amazing AoE tool. You can bring this one step further and make it full electric, like build an entire electric Spidey build around just a couple of mods and this ability right here to pretty much create one of the coolest boss and mob clearing out builds in Marvel Spider-Man. But again, more on that in just a little bit. In the meantime, we also have to talk about possibly one of the most efficient synergies in Marvel Spider-Man, which is made out of the suspension matrix plus the web bomb. So each one of these are kinda okayish on their own, but when combined, they turn into something truly amazing. So the suspension matrix lifts foes up in the air for a few seconds, time in which you can do whatever you want, but I recommend combining it with a web bomb, because if you deploy the web bomb right at the end of the suspension matrix, this is going to cause the enemies to get webbed while falling, and combined with the force of the impact will instantly clear out the entire group of enemies that have been affected by these two abilities. This is the way you're gonna be able to instantly one-shot any group in Marvel Spider-Man, no matter what the difficulty is. As long as you pull it out properly and there's no obstacles, you can create this result fairly easily with just two of these skills. Obviously, it goes without saying that you do need to upgrade these gadgets to make the most out of them and to pull off these awesome combos, which is why I talked about so much about tokens in the previous video and why you should go ahead and complete any side activity you can to get a lot of them right away. Doing so will provide additional charges for each of these gadgets, faster cooldowns, and other cool interactions that will turn you into the ultimate Spider-Man. But as I've said, the gadgets and the skills are not the only ones that play a huge role into your build, the suit mods do as well. You will get up to 3 slots that you can place mods in, and there's plenty of mods that you can get, both for offenses and defenses. One of the earliest and literally the first one is the battle tag. This is going to make gadget attacks to also generate focus, and this is great to synergize with the Spidey bots and the Spider Bro setup I talked about previously to create the ultimate Spidey bot build. This, of course, ensures that your bots will generate additional focus, not just deal damage. Because you get the extra focus, you can also perform more takedowns, and takedowns can also give you back these gadgets once you perform them, essentially creating a perpetual low cooldown gadget build. In this case, the build that is complete looks like this. You get the Spidey bot, you get the Spider Bro skills, and then also the battle tag plus the kinetic power cells for the extra focus from these attacks, and finally the scavenger for even more extra gadget refills so that you get 2 bots back for every takedown that you do. This is one of the best builds in pretty much the entire game on any difficulty. There's another one that I have for you, which is the Electro Spidey build. This one also makes use of those electric punches, but at the same time, the mods that I'm using are the Charged Outer Mesh plus the Stormbolt Discharger, so that you can also generate electricity from your attacks, not just from the skill and the gadgets. Literally everybody will be electrified around you with this build right here. On a final note, we also have the skill trees. Obviously, these will get fully unlocked by the time you reach level 50, but there's still a few skills that I would focus on a bit more, especially at the lower levels. One of them is the Payback in the Defender skill line. This is great against snipers or ranged enemies. If you perfectly dodge their ranged attacks, this will let you follow up with an instant takedown no matter the difficulty, so yeah, its usefulness is more than obvious. Another one is the Air Yank in the Web Slinger category. This lets you pull up enemies, so if you followed my advice from yesterday's video, you're gonna be able to just stay up in the air for a lot longer, take enemies up with you, and just destroy them up there without getting touched. Web Throw into Wrecking Ball in the Innovator line is another one, great against powerful brutes to defeat them easier once they're webbed up or electrified, but along this line this will work with pretty much any other enemy. Epicenter is another great option. It's an awesome AoE ability that you can use to instantly break momentum or just like land down with full force from higher up places. And finally, the point launch boost, just because this makes traversal a lot faster and lets you gain a lot more speed for your next web swing. All in all, you're gonna be able to experiment and mix and match all of these, but for now these were the ones that I've been using the most at the early stages for the best results. If you find anything different, totally let me know down below. In the meantime, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.